Let us talk about overview of ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. These are International Organization of Standards guidelines or modules. So ISO 9001 and ISO 14001, in brief, if we can explain them. ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 are among ISO's most well-known standards ever. These are the standards and they are implemented by more than 1 million organizations in around 175 countries. So ISO 9001, it helps organization to implement quality management. So ISO 9001 is for quality management and ISO 14001, it is for environmental management. ISO 9001 is for quality management. Quality, it refers to all those features of a product or a service which are required by the customer. And quality management, this means what the organization does to ensure that its products or services satisfy the customer quality requirements and comply with any regulations applicable to those products or services. So quality management also means what the organization does to enhance customer satisfaction and achieve continual improvement of its performance. Now coming to ISO 14001, it is for environmental management. This means what the organization does to minimize harmful effects on the environment caused by its activities and to conform to applicable regulatory requirements and to achieve continual improvement of its environmental performance. So ISO, these two ISO standards are generic standards. Generic, we mean that the same standards can be applied to any organization, large or small, or for products and services, and to any sector of activity. So whether it is business enterprise, a public administration, or a government department, these standards are applicable. So generic also signifies that no matter what the organization's scope of activity is, if it wants to establish a quality management system, ISO 9001 gives the essential features, or if it wants to establish an environmental management system, ISO 14001 gives the essential features. Management system means what the organization does to manage its processes or activities in order that its products or services meet the organization objective, such as satisfying the customer's quality requirements, complying to the regulations, or meeting environmental objectives. So to be really efficient and effective, the organization can manage its way of doing things by systematizing it. Nothing important is left out. Everything is clear about who is responsible for doing what, when, how, why, and where. Management system standards provide the organization with an international state-of-the-art model to follow. A large organization or ones with complicated processes could not function well without management system, and companies in such fields as aerospace, automobiles, defense, or healthcare devices have been operating management system for years. So these two ISO standards, management systems standards, now make these successful practices available to all organizations. So processes we are talking about, not products. Both these standards concern the way an organization goes about its work. They are not product standards, they are not service standards. They are actually process standards. They can be used by product manufacturers and service providers. So processes affect final products or services, and ISO 9001 gives the requirement for what the organization must do to manage processes affecting quality of its products and services. ISO 14001 gives the requirement for what the organization must do to manage processes affecting the impact of its activities on the environment. So certification is known in some countries as registration also. It means that an independent external body has audited an organization's management system and verified that it conforms to the requirements specified in the standard ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. So ISO does not carry out certification and does not issue or approve certificates. Accreditation is like certification of the certification body. It means that formal approval by a specialized body and accreditation body that a certification body is competent to carry out this ISO 9001:2008 and ISO 14001:2004 certification in specified business sectors. Certificate issued by accreditation certification bodies and they are known as accredited certificates may be perceived on market as having increased credibility. So ISO does not carry out or approve accreditation. This is very important. So certification is not a requirement of ISO 9001, ISO 14001. The organization can implement and benefit from ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 system without having it getting certified. So the organization can implement them for the internal benefits without spending money on a certification program. So certification is a decision to be taken for business reason, if it is contractual, regulatory or market requirement, if it meets customers' preferences, it is part of a risk management program, or if it will motivate staff by setting a clear goal. ISO does not carry out ISO 9001 or ISO 14000 certification. ISO does not issue certificates. ISO does not accredit, approve or control the certification bodies. ISO develops standards and guides to encourage good practice in accreditation and certification. So ISO 9001 is the standard that gives the requirements for a quality management system. ISO 9001:2008 is the latest improved version. It is the only standard in the ISO 9000 family that can be used for certification. There are 16 other standards in the family that can help an organization or specific aspects such as performance improvement, auditing and training. So ISO 14001 is the standard that gives the requirement for an environmental management system. ISO 14001:2004 is the latest improved version. It is the only standard in the ISO 14000 family that can be used for certification. The ISO 14000 family includes 21 other standards that can help an organization's specific aspects such as auditing, environmental labeling, life cycle analysis. So this is the ISO survey of different dates, and the worldwide total of certificates to ISO 9001:2001 at the end of 2007 was 951486. This was increase of 6% over 2006 when the total was 896926. Certificate has been issued in 175 countries compared to 170 the previous year. This is the chart showing this. So the worldwide total of ISO 14001 certificate at the end of 2007 was 154572, an increase of 21% from 128 to 11, and countries 148 rather than 140 which was before. So what are the benefits? International expert consensus on the state of the art practices for quality and environmental management, common languages for dealing with customers and suppliers worldwide in business to business, increase efficiency and effectiveness, and model for continual improvement. So model for satisfying customers and other stakeholders, building quality into products and services from design onwards, address environmental concerns of customers and public, and comply with government regulations, integrating with the global economy. Sustainable business, unifying base for industry sectors and qualifying the suppliers from global supply chains, and technical support for regulation as well, and transfer of good practice to developing countries, and tool for new economic players, and regional integration and facilitating the rise of services. So more information can be gathered from these websites for ISO 9001, ISO 14000. It is also website, ISO management system, ISO.org IMS, and for IMS alerts, ISO.org IMS alerts. Thank you so much. The source of the PPT I found on internet from Roger Frost. This is his email ID. Thank you so much. Take care.